Praise God and welcome to Did You Know? Today we're going to look a little bit and talk a little bit, just very briefly, about the fears and the anxieties that we deal with on a daily basis. Did you realize that most of the fears and the anxiety that you and I deal with on a daily basis really has its origins in the fear of the unknown? That which is not, the fear of the future, that which is still ahead of us, the fears and the anxieties of the future. When you and I look at this fears and the anxieties, the fear of the unknown is when you and I have expectations of evil instead of expectations of good. And it seems to be that more so nowadays is that most people view their future. That means they view tomorrow and the day after and the weeks after and the months after. They tend to view more from the perspective of evil. Something's going to go wrong. Something bad is going to happen, instead of having an expectation of good. In fact, the fears that you and I deal with and the anxieties we deal with mostly is believing in our own imaginary disasters that does not really even exist. It's in the future. It's actually believing in something that does not exist. In 1 Peter chapter 1 and verse 13, Peter gave us some good advice. Peter said this. He says, "Wherefore gird up the loins of your mind, be sober, and hope to the end for the grace that is to be brought, the grace that is to be brought into you at the revelation of Jesus Christ." I'm sorry that I messed that up there, but he says, saying, gird up the loins of your mind, and your and when he's talking about the loins of your mind, it's really talking about the vulnerable parts of your thinking. He said, gird it up. That means to protect it. He says, be sober. To be sober means to be, first of all, to be vigilant, but at the same time, to be sober-minded means to be level-headed, means to be have clarity of thought. He says, and then hope to the end for the grace that is to be brought unto you at the revelation of Jesus Christ. Now, the word hope here that he says, and to have hope, that word hope is to have a confident expectation of good. Good for your life, good for your future, good for your family's future. That means to have an expectation that something good is going to happen in the future. See, when you and I know and believe in the goodness of God, when you and I believe and trust in the gospel of Jesus Christ, we can look to our future through the lenses of faith. And instead of looking through the lenses of anxiety and fear, let's look at our future through the lens of faith, having a confident expectation of good and not of evil. So let me encourage you today. Let's do what Peter suggested that you and I do. To gird up our loins of our minds. That means protect, do whatever it takes to protect the vulnerable parts of your thinking and your mind, and expect something good to happen to you, to happen for you today and every day. So go and have a good day today, expecting something good is going to happen in your life today.